Hi, welcome back to McCarthy Performance. This video will be covering putting an oil pan on an LS engine. This is an aftermarket pan. This is for a turbo charged engine. It has the drain backs in the front of the pan. Well, this video is going to be all the things that I ran into not being able to successfully install this pan without any modifications. There's plenty of them in this video. And it's kind of one of these deals where you get into a situation where things just completely pile on. And you get to a point where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. I spent a lot of time on this pan making it fit this engine. It would have probably been better to buy a different pan. Which pan, I have no clue. So this covers it, and I ended the video with me at the point of doing some welding on the pan. Well, I did do that, and I'll cover some of that as this video ends. If you want to watch the whole thing, great. If you don't, that's fine. But this is what I ran into with this particular pan. Now, I don't know who made the pan, and at this point I don't much care. Whoever designed it, something was not quite right. It fits, and that's all that matters now. It's on the engine and it's properly installed, and at the end of the day, that's all I really care about. So I hope you enjoy the video. You got a burr on it. I'm gonna break them off. Okay, this oil filter adapter got some pretty rough threads on it, so I'm just gonna lightly hit them after I deburred the oil filter part. It's got a high spot on it. I can feel it. It's still there. I'm gonna just stress it down a little bit. Of course, we'll wash it and blow it off really good. Put it into the pan. We got her. Okay, lightly sand it with some sandpaper. Just kind of polish up the threads a little bit. Not trying to remove them, obviously. I'm not going to do it with this fine paper anyways. It's only about probably 180 grit. We just want to make sure there's nothing on there. Maybe a little overkill, but that feels like 100% better than they were. Okay, of course we're going to wash it really good. Yeah, that's a lot better. I like that. Of course, while we're there, it's only going to take a second to go over the hex of the adapter and just break some of the edges off lightly. Okay, now we're going to wash it and we'll thread it into the oil pan. Okay, we're thread her in. I got just a little Permatex on there just to lubricate the threads. Probably could have used oil, but Permatex is closer, so. That should be tight enough. Now we're going to wash the pan out, flush it, blow it all out. Put the pickup on the engine, of course, and make sure that the clearance between the pan and the pickup is proper. We'll do that next. Okay, we're going to check from the pickup to the pan for clearance. I've got the pickup on with the right O-ring. Looks good. Everything looks great. This pan's got a real good baffle in it. Might be hard to keep this little wad of Play-Doh in the right position because I think it's going to get knocked off. We'll give it a try. Put some tape around the baggie so hopefully it won't wiggle around too much. We'll try I'll fit it. Hanging up on something. I'd say that ain't any good. We'll have to figure out where it's hanging up on. I got a feeling it's probably hanging up on here. Oh, it's always something. This is not horrible. Once the gasket's on it, it'll be a little higher, but we got to figure out where the pan is now hitting. sitting way above it. Right here, still pump pickup. Probably right there. So, to confirm that, we're going to put a little yellow paste on it. This is water base. If you ever need anything for marking, I'd recommend oil base. This happens to be water based, and used to have some that was a little thicker. I use that for ring and pinion setup, but I really dislike the water based stuff. I don't know if you can get any oil base anymore, but that's what you want if you can find it. Yeah. So it's something, you know, none of this stuff. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Let's see if we got a mark. Yeah, looks like it's sitting right here. We can't flip that tray around, but we can thump that down a little bit. So, it appears it's sitting right there. So kids, don't do this at home. Yeah, that didn't move it. We kind of know where we are. When that drops down, it'll probably be just right. We were closer. And we're hitting on the front. So, this thing fits like shit. Somebody's got the wrong pickup or the wrong pan design. Seeing how it's a Chinese pan. Sitting here. It's going to be hitting up there in a minute. Yep. So that's about an hour and a half worth of work pissing away. Well, the tray hits there, so hopefully I can just tap that down right there. But it's hitting quite a high, it's quite high up in the air. Well, I'm going to do a little adjusting and a little swearing and try to get my blood pressure to go down a little bit, and then I'll be back. looks like I'll have to take the tray off and modify this tray. Cut that out of there because I don't want to beat it down. So I got to take the tray all back off. Which would have been nice if they would have handed me any instructions, although I didn't see any in the box, so I guess they didn't bring me any instructions. Maybe they forgot to put them in the box, but well, it's good. It's not hitting here, it's hitting right there. So I'm going to trim. I don't know how much I want to trim off that. I guess we ought to put a little paste on it, find out. If I got to cut it to that first louver, that's going to be a no-win deal because it'll want to crack out. So we'll put a little paste on it. See where we're rubbing on it. Yep, right there. Hard contact. Yeah, I did trim that pan up, that tray up, but that does not have anything to do with that pan. That was 1/8 of an inch. It's plenty higher than that. So, we'll take everything back off. Looks like it stops right about to that first notch where that louver is. Gosh, I hate to cut it back that far. Yeah, I'm gonna ponder on this for a minute. We'll be back with more exciting stuff. Whoopie-doo. You want to build engines for a living. Okay, I'm gonna think about it and get back on it in a minute. Okay, I got a plan now. Whether it works or not, we'll find out. I've notched this tray, so I'm going to take the tray. I'm going to clamp it in the vise, or maybe not. Yeah, I'm going to clamp her in the vise. I'm going to bend it down like that. That's what they should have did originally. I'm not going to go all the way down. Well, hell, I am going to go all the way down. What the hell? I'm going to run it all the way to bottoms out and make sure it fits in the pan, and then I'll weld that. Okay. Now I'm going to take this, and it's still hitting. Then I'm going to make sure that fits, and then I'm going to weld it. Clean the burrs off the back side of it. Well, I don't think they want me to rate their oil pan, but you know, it certainly is not on my top 10 list of wanting to do another one of these again. You can see where the factory windage tray hit this. And I'm telling you, me shimming the tray 120 thousandths ain't got a damn thing to do with this. If they would have brought that out a little bit further, this wouldn't be a problem. Then we get to this baffle in here. I had to cut it and bend it all the way down, and it still was hitting, and I had to hit it and roll this inward on that pan. Okay, and the reason why I say that 125 thousandths, this is down over a half of an inch. I had to cut it, slice it, and drop it, and you can see that it's down quite a bit. And with the pickup on, it's hard to see, but looking down at it, you can see how much I had to move it. And I had to close up this louver baffle here, or louver here, I should say, not a baffle. Welded it all back together. And of course, we had to clearance the nut. That's not a big deal. I thought that was going to be about it in there. And this pan is designed for a turbo system, and I don't know whose pan it is. I'd be hesitant to say whose pan it is, but it's made in China. Not that that means a whole lot, but it's just, you know, there's no excuse for this. You can see it was hitting pretty hard here. It all pretty much fits flat without a gasket, and that's kind of the way I like to fit my pans. I realize the gaskets, you know, probably, oh, I don't know, maybe a little bit under 1/8 of an inch thick. I've never measured one, but they're fairly thick. But that's not going to solve all this, all the things that I went through. And you've seen before that it was rubbing hard here, and it was rubbing all over everywhere. But we're going to check it, make sure we've got where the pan is now and how it sets. I probably closed up that gap. We had about 3/4 from the bottom of the pan, so that probably closed up, which is fine. That's not a problem. Its pickup is sitting a little bit cocked on the tube, which has got me wondering just where it is. So we'll know that shortly, but I got it all back together, cleaned, and re-Loctited, and hopefully it's on to stay on. Well, with any luck, we'll have, this will be the last time, hopefully, of putting the pan on it. And yeah, you know, it's hitting. Well, you know, it's just one of them deals. It was hitting in here. I relieved that, cleared. It was rubbing up here, and I moved that and reworked the baffle in the pan. As you could see how much I had to move it. And I put the tray on, and the pan was flush and flat. I went to put the pickup back on, easy for me to say, and now it's sitting right here. It's sitting right there, and when I modify it, I'm sure it's going to probably hit here. It's just, that's the way it seems to be going. It's up off the rail 3/8 of an inch, so the gasket isn't going to help me there, and anything I did under here has no effect on that. In a matter of fact, I didn't even shim this side, so this is right down tight, and we have got a problem with the pickup now, and I checked it, and it could go down a little bit. It wouldn't hurt nothing. Let's see if I can jaw it up. I don't think. No, I got it fairly tight. That ain't gonna change it much. That tube needs to be moved down. It's gotta hug the tray a lot tighter. Oh, it's always something. Well, let's see if that changed much, but I doubt it. Yeah, she's up good quarter of an inch. I can't grind the pan because it's thin there, but I wouldn't be opposed to welding a block of aluminum in there and grinding it down until it clears right here. And that's the last thing that I really want to do, but the pan's all together and it really don't fit, and I doubt if they're going to take it back with the tray modified, but and I've got a half a day into it. So, you know, if I welded a block in here and I ground it till it cleared, I'd be done. That is going to be an option. And then I'm going to dust that spot back in the pan because it's about as wide as that right there. It's about as wide as a marker. And that's what I'm going to do. I mean, I don't know what else to do. I want out. I want to get it done. And that's the quickest way I know how to do it, is I'm going to put some weld here, and it's hitting right there. And I'll weld it up, and I'll blend it back, and that'll be the end of that story. So I blended her back. Didn't take a lot out, but pan was just too thin there. So I built it up about 3/4 of an inch. I was going to put a block in there, but I thought, you know, I'll just get some heavy filler rod and go to town on it. And that's kind of what I did. Hey, it welded up fairly decent. There was a little bit of this and that coming out, gassing out of it, but I'm going to check it with some lacquer thinner, and if it don't leak, which I don't think it will, we should be all right. Onward and upward. So, thank you for watching. I hope it was entertaining for you as much as it was for me. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to add this to the video that you're watching. I just ended the first one. This is the second day on this pan. I welded it yesterday, and I got it to a point where it was going to walk up the tube, and I kind of knew it was going to do that. It was hitting here, and then I just welded it all the way up to here, because every time I'd clearance the pan inside, it would go ahead. Why is it doing this? The tube really isn't up any higher, and I went home last night. I couldn't understand why the pan, the pickup was giving me such a struggle. It didn't seem to be. I had the pan laying flat on the engine. The O-ring that they gave me, it didn't really seem to be fitting quite right. So I don't know if the pan was actually moving the O-ring. The O-ring diameter wasn't quite the right size, I feel. I had some O-rings that came from a Felpro gasket kit, and I put the red O-ring on this, and it seemed to work fine, but I can't say for sure with the other O-ring that it wasn't moving. I don't know, but when I bolted everything down, the pan was riding high. And I mean, the gasket's about 90 thousandths thick, like I said in the video, but it was up higher than that. And if you shimmed it and you squared up the pan, it still was way high. And the pickup has nothing to do with the tray being shimmed. I shimmed only one side of the tray. The tray was asymmetrical. So that's out the window. I mean, it would be easy to blame me for it. I'm not buying that. It's a poor design. You can see how much I added here. of weld. And the reason why I added all that weld is because I had to hollow out the pan inside and I didn't want to break through. So I welded all this up, and I'd love to tell you that I was smart enough to figure out the pan was hitting, was going to walk all the way down and hit here, and I just welded this all up at once and I was done. No, no. I've had this pan off this engine probably 10 times, easy, easy 10 times. So my big deal is that anytime I put a pan on an engine, I always use the gasket for the cushion. What do I mean by that? If I can put the oil pan on successfully without the gasket and it sits flat on the rails, I'm a happy camper. And this one wasn't doing that. I got it to that point where it was doing that. I didn't want any excessive force when this pan gets clamped down to be pushing down on that oil pump pickup tube. So you're not gonna, I didn't put any welding in here, and I glossed over a lot of things because, frankly, I think a lot of you guys get bored. Somebody might be watching this video, they're gonna want the answer fast. Well, God bless you. I hope that works in your life, but I'm telling you, when you're building engines for a living, you don't get your answers instantaneously, and sometimes you got to work at this stuff, and sometimes it can be a real son of a gun, to put it nicely. So, I was in for a penny, in for a pound, as they say. I couldn't go back. So I had to, at that point, I just had to carry on until it worked. And that's what we got going on here. So that's the pan. It's on. It fit flat. Everything's good with it. Just a little more time than what really needed to happen, I feel. But, no sense crying over it now. Just, move on to another job. And that's my intention. I'm gonna button this one up and move on to the next job. That's what you got to do sometimes. But this one really took a lot of energy. Thanks for watching.